Our diploma in strategy, innovation and change is targeted at executives who want to contribute to the development of strategy in their organizations. And that's an important topic because strategy is about relating the organization to a changing environment. So executives who are interested in trying to establish what type of advantages they have, what the offer is to their clients, how they can sustain an advantage over competitors. If you're confronted with those challenges or if you're engaged in those challenges, then that program is really targeted at you. We've attracted a broad range of participants from a wide range of sectors. That includes people who are establishing their own business. They're attracted to the program because one of the outcomes in the program is that they can actually develop a business plan for their organization, which they can bring to third-party funders, venture capitalists, or whatever. In the medium-sized sector, I think we've attracted people who are, beginning to move into that senior management role, where as a CEO or COO, where really the contribution to strategy and growth strategy in particular becomes important. And I think people are coming to the program to develop the language, to develop the insight, and to get the tools and techniques that would help them develop insight into how they should approach the strategic problems facing their organization. We've also attracted people from the larger multinational sector who are heading up business units and who are trying to position their business unit in what is a rapidly changing environment with rapidly changing technologies and rapidly changing customer requirements, and who are challenged to engage in strategic conversations with people at headquarters in other countries around the directions of their business units. In terms of the learning approach on the program, there's a strong emphasis on using the case study method. And the reason we use the case study method is one of the strengths of our programs is we get people from a wide diversity of backgrounds. And it's been remarked that people learn a lot from each other, and they do. But the vehicle we use for that is the case. We don't necessarily use the case as an exemplar of best practice. Sometimes we do. But more importantly, what it provides a common frame of reference for people to be able to explore their experience base, their approach to problem solving, and to apply the tools and techniques that we're providing them in the class to that particular case. So that, first of all, it gives them practice in applying the tools and techniques. Secondly, it allows the expression of people's own backgrounds, own problem-solving styles to the case. And finally then, after the case discussion, we begin to explore how they can really take those tools and techniques, how they can take the concepts and apply them back in their context. So it sort of rounds out the learning. Within the Diploma in Strategy, Innovation and Change, there are a number of key themes. I think the first theme is, really looking at, what is strategy? And is it just a plan? Or is it something more than a plan? Okay, and we explore that really in depth in the first module. We then move on from there and think about how the environment is changing. And in particular, we look at scenario development and scenario analysis. If you like, flesh out our thinking about how the world is changing around us and what the implications of that are for our organization. We then move into the realm of competitive strategy and how to position your products, how to position yourself in a market to achieve advantage against competitors. Then a couple of other themes that we deal with. In many cases, strategy is the realm of the top management team. And so we have a module on top management team dynamics and strategic decision making. So what's different about strategic decisions compared to other decisions? Okay. Other, perhaps more functional decisions sometimes can be made by, I call, computation. When there's a computational answer, we can do a calculation and it'll give us an indication of, what we should do. With strategic decisions, a lot more judgment is required. And in particular, we're confronted with how do we blend different people's judgments and come up with, sound decisions that are high quality and that people are willing to implement afterwards. And then we sort of extend that and we think about, the design of innovative business models. In the face of changing technology, in the face of changing demographics, in the face of a changing world, business models need to change. So we have an emphasis on business model design and business model innovation. In designing the program, what we've focused on in terms of assessment is to make sure the assessment is challenging for the participant, but is also applicable to their context. So across all our programs, the assessment is very much focused on applying concepts or tools to the manager's own situation. So what we've tried to link is if you like, the theory or the conceptual work with practice. So we're challenging managers to apply the concepts and tools to their context and to come up with an answer using the tool or technique for their context. And I think that contributes a number of things. First of all, it contributes to the development of the individual, okay, in the sense that they're developing their skills in diagnosis, they're developing their skills in management. But in addition, I think it provides something to the organization. We're challenging them to confront real problems, real issues in their organization, and to apply some of the learning and some of the lessons that we can deliver to solving those problems, addressing those issues, identifying those opportunities.